We're live.
Sorry, I really hate my producer. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency to bring a symphonic approach to horror. I am your host tonight, Bridget Jeffries, and I will also be serving as your director. As you know from the previous two episodes, we have three more to go. We are currently playing Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory, which is a limited campaign written by me for Cthulhu Dark. Cthulhu Dark is very rules light. Combat doesn't really exist, and it's very collaborative in its storytelling. So if you're interested in Cthulhu Dark, excuse me, you can pick that up at Indie Press Revolution in PDF or in print. If you would like to have a copy of the Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory, the content that we're playing now, it is currently available on Drive Through RPG. And we'll have a link going in the bot, or if you go to symphonyentertainment.com, you can get a link, or just go to Drive Through RPG and type in Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory. We do have giveaways again for tonight. We'll be giving away a soft cover copy of the Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory to one lucky person. And then, Bucho, do you want to tee up what you're giving away?
I shall. We will also be giving out a copy of my first book, which is a dystopian collection of short stories, and a copy of my second book, which is a collection of interactive stories. So one lucky winner will get both of those, and then one lucky winner will get a copy of tonight's game. So that's kind of dope. Kind of
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah. Thank you for participating in this, Bucho. You're amazing.
Of course.
And then Alex, because I still don't know what's going on with technology, can you tell everyone at home how to win? Thank you. And Alex, while you're here, do you want to introduce yourself as well? Because literally this is all happening because you're present. The voice from beneath the waves, from in the sky, wherever you're coming from.
I'm just the voice inside your head, Bridget. That's all.
It's a lot better than the voices I currently have.
Also, I forgot to turn my mic on before I explained how the giveaway works. So, if you click the little follow button and then enter ! Shoreside as Allie did, you will be entered into the raffle to receive something. So, it'll be fun. Also, I'm Alex. I'm the producer here at Symphony Entertainment, as well as the executive producer at the Untold Stories Project, which is another actual play channel where we focus on RPGs that don't quite get the love and attention of things like D&D or Pathfinder. We do a lot of superhero stuff for Mutants and Masterminds because that's my other job. I'm the co-line developer for Mutants and Masterminds at Green Ronin Publishing, and the author of the Titan City Chronicles, a fantasy noir series about angry wizards that fight mobsters and monsters in the 1930s. So I'm busy all the time.
Yeah, you are. But genuinely, we sincerely appreciate you being here. Before we get into unveiling our cast, just as a reminder, Symphony Entertainment does have a Patreon. So if you like this content and would like to help us create more of it, please consider backing us on Patreon. Tiers are fleshed out with everything from behind the scenes content, special recordings, AMAs, postcards, which have already hit the mail, playable content, and more. So you can check that out at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. So one of my favorite parts of the game. Without further ado, let us unveil this cast. Cast members, please introduce yourselves. Tell us where people can find you, some of the things that you do, and then tell us the name, field of study of your investigator, and a brief impression on how they're doing, which according to some of these private messages is not doing great. I can't wait to hear these.
I am Bucho. I can be found at on Instagram at the Real Pink Manther. You can find pictures of my paintings. You can find literary updates from me there. You can find links to all of my DJ mixes from the last 20 years. Other tomfoolery and ballyhoo appear in my feed every once in a while too. Tonight I will be playing Twee Lee. She is a painter, and she has had her ass rocked by the first day getting to this school. She has also been very deeply inspired by a few of the strange things that have happened. And it may steer her a little off course from her original intent, but she's going to figure it out.
Oh God, I'm so excited. Terry.
Hello, all. I'm Perry Clark. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. So that's the day job. And I also have a podcast called Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered, um, where I talk about mental health, being a BIPOC, and the intersections we have with being LGBT, neurodiverse, men, spirituality, some kinky stuff as well. I will say that how I play characters has no reflection on any people I have actually worked with. It is just my understanding of psychological issues and how they may manifest. And I will say for my upcoming podcast, which airs next week, I have an interview with Tanana Reeve Dew, multi-author and lecturer at Afrofuturism at UCLA. So check that one out, where we also talk about Afrofuturism and horror, a bit of
Wow.
their relationship there. So I play Jamal, the saxophonist, who is not sleeping well after his events at the pond.
And for those who are worried, Perry still loves me. We hugged it out at the last talk back.
Yeah, it's just that aspect. It was the prank that kind of pissed me off the most.
It was supposed to. Bridget just wasn't prepared. Sorry. It's so good. Go ahead, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Hall, and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, making trouble and surviving. Let's see. You can find me on Instagram at ZopherH. You can find me on Twitter at Zopher Hall. That's XOPHER. And let's see. I get my nerd on playing with lightsabers, or more technically LED sabers, with the Lux Saber Core in San Francisco. You can find us at luxsabercore.com. And tonight I am playing Dallas Aquino, the dancer among this group, and the person who helped Jamal survive last episode's
That's right.
fiasco. Generous of heart, and probably the last person to survive this whole game. So take it away, next person.
I love it. By the way, Chris has just reaffirmed again and again and again. My character's going to be the last one to live. I'm going to be the last one off of this table. We're going to see if that's right or not. And then last but totally not least, Allie, hit us.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I am a cast member on the Old Ways podcast. That is really the main place you can find me. And I am playing August Williamson, and he was very disturbed while he was trying to sleep. And he is just so fucking over this stuff with his mom. I'm ready to be past it, and I'm ready to just focus on what I'm working on here.
Ooh. Guys, yeah, I wish you could understand how excited I am, because I have a pen and paper out at this point, because at this point I don't think my book matters, because the players are going to take it away, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go, and I'm excited for you guys watching to see where it goes. Just a reminder, content warnings have been reviewed with cast and crew, and they understand that the X card is in play. X's can be sent via private message in the Zoom. I do have that chat up. No judgment passed, no questions asked. So I am going to read this short snippet, and then I think I'm just going to sit back for the rest of the night and watch you guys do what you need to do to each other and to yourselves.
Yeah, that worked out so well last time.
I was pretty excited about it.
And just remember, the game is a starting place. You can go so many other places with
So
this,
many
as we are.
places. Listen, the sandbox of doom is what you guys are cultivating for yourselves.
There's the subtitle.
There's the somebody needs to put it on the Symphony quote board on Discord. The sandbox of doom. Jesus, it's your fault you did it. Dallas and Jamal, you two emerge from the pond water, and you're soaking wet. Your chest and your nostrils burn from that near drowning experience. It's very difficult right now to trust what your eyes are showing you, and you feel like you just walked out of, or maybe walked into, a really catastrophic event. Jeremy Leitner is nowhere to be found. The only thing that's sitting there looking down upon the pond, but somehow simultaneously up to you, is a mannequin that's sitting in a wheelchair. And moments ago, you could have sworn you thought it was laughing at you, but the more you look at it now, it's just an idle mannequin that's staring at you, and somehow you think that is worse. The other students disperse awkwardly, each of them shaken to their core by the shared experience that you're assuming each of you guys had. You two head back to your rooms and eventually head back to bed. It is a very uncomfortable night of sleep. The image of that drowned mannequin keeps resurfacing again and again in your mind. You keep re experiencing that sensation of drowning, and both of you can still smell Jeremy's cologne. It sticks to your skin even after showering, and it's distracting. Like the rest of the night, you're also wrestling with this really uncomfortable feeling of just being aroused. And it's confusing because he didn't touch either of you. So you keep thinking, like, why am I lathered in his scent? Dallas, say your feet begin to hurt. They feel broken. And yet you're dancing right now. Whatever your feet have been reshaped as, you're too afraid to look. You just keep dancing. And you're not at Devil's Reef, but you know that you have the exact same audience. Those quiet lurkers beneath the sea who would drag you, pull you from your sleep as a child to come and perform for them. They're here right now watching. You can't see them, you can't hear them, you can't lay any senses on them other than this hyper awareness that they're there. And you're currently on the pier, one of the hot spots I remember somebody getting from their handout. You're currently on the pier, facing the ocean at the conservatory, and the sun is just getting ready to rise. And as you begin to slow down this dance, you realize that classes begin in an hour. August, you're on your balcony. You don't know how long you've been there, but you've been watching Dallas say for hours, 6, maybe 7 now. It's hard to tell. You were pulled by your sleep by that salty taste of kelp, and it kept you up and it brought you to your balcony. You've just been watching Dallas say for the past maybe 8 hours, given how much your ankles hurt, your hips hurt, and your legs hurt. And you're watching Dallas say, and you can hear your violin do this pop twang slice in the background. And you don't really know exactly what's happening there. You're pretty sure that you're suspended between reality and sleep. But when you are in that sleep world, your violin has been retuning itself all night, trying to get some chord that isn't really in the human spectrum of like audio comprehension. It doesn't make any sense. But then when you're actually fully awake, your violin is just sitting in its case. But when you kind of doze off watching Dallas say, you can hear your violin pop twang slice. The 3 of you are so exceptionally tired. Twee, you slept like a baby. And classes begin. May I have insight checks, please, from Dallas, Jamal, and August?
What do we want to do? Jamal's bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So Jamal wakes with a start and immediately grabs his phone and starts making notes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he's done with the notes, he picks up the phone and starts dialing his grandmother.
Okay. Now I have a question. Where in the narrative is this? Is this the following morning? Is this at night?
The immediate morning.
Then I still need your sand check before this phone call happens. Yep. Roll dice with friends. Where is that? Ooh, okay. How are you doing on your insight? Did that kick you up or did that bring you down?
I think I'm at a 2 either way.
Okay. So that didn't, whatever's happening right now, you're navigating it. Okay. All right. The phone rings. It rings. It rings. And you hear a voice. Give me an idea about what time this is, babe.
It's probably about 5 in the morning.
Okay, so chances are she was on her way up.
Oh yeah,
she's an early riser. She's on her way up. So there's that ring, there's a ring, and then that phone answers, and you hear a voice that just fills you with just every sense of home, compassion, family, and you hear, "Hi, baby. I was just dreaming about you."
I'm glad to talk with you. I had a dream last night, and I need to talk to you about it. I need it interpreted.
What was the dream, baby? I need an observation check from you, please. And you are saxophone. You can go ahead and give me.
Saxophone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can give me your occupation as well.
I'll just ring it roll it a second time.
Okay. You get nothing. There's a couple clicks on the phone, but other than that, you're fine. Shitty reception. You're surprised you got an outgoing call off on your cell phone right now, anyways.
Oh no, I used the landline.
Oh, you're on the landline. Even perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah. For her, where you're going for that definitely, because originally she's from from Brazil, Bahia, so she's going to have an accent to it.
Okay.
With a more heavy lilt to the Spanish, if it's doable for you.
I am not gonna botch that because I have never even pretended to do a Brazilian accent. We're just gonna rock out.
Okay.
But you can envision it. You can envision
keep that in mind, folks. Okay. I was in the water and I saw Mama. She was just drifting in the water, sinking deeper. And then at some point, she looked up at me and reached out, and I reached out to her. And our hands met, and then she closed around him tightly. And she started drifting deeper and deeper into the water. I think I saw this figure that was behind her, that wrapped around her, that took her deeper and was pulling both of us. And I couldn't help but keep thinking about something that I heard last night about surrendering into the deep. I can't help but immediately think, was this what she was thinking her last nights?
There's a very long pause. You can hear her clearing her throat, and you can also hear shuffling in the background, which could be a myriad of things. She could be throwing bones. She could be pulling out tarot cards right now. She could be doing lines of salt. You're not entirely sure what she's doing, but at her age, she's still not super good with like multitasking with a phone in her hand. So when she comes back to you, she says, "Baby, did your mother look scared?"
She looked content. That's what makes it so frightening. I mean, I know there's all the stories about Mom's death at the boat slip. And I think that maybe also what took Dad away. But I always wondered, did she fight? Or did she just surrender to what happened to her?
And she asks that same question again. And there's a deliberateness to it. She says, "Baby, did your mama look scared?"
She's going to have a long pause as she's trying to go back into the dream. I don't think she was.
Then Jamal, baby, maybe you shouldn't be either. Can you approach this dream with curiosity and not fear? Fear clouds our judgment.
I can try.
Can I share with you a dream that I had about you? What I was just dreaming about you?
Please.
And you can hear the sound of a chair scooting. And she says, "No, I won't tell you the dream, but I will remind you something of our history. When our ancestors were enslaved, they carried the Orisha with them to the Americas, to the Caribbean, all by way of that transatlantic slave trade. During the further oppression and eradication of our people, we found a way to survive amongst the white Catholics. We began to blend the Orisha with their Catholic saints. It was a form of survival. It was a form of surrender, as you say. But it was also supreme cleverness because despite the fact that we were shredded of everything, we were able to keep some echoes of the Orisha with us. But from what my dreams are showing me, Jamal, there are gods there much older than our Orisha. And I think they're blending for you."
And a shiver just runs through his body.
That sounds like another insight check to me. Bucho, I hate you. Okay, with a 3, it sounds like your insight just kicked up to a 3. I'm going to hop over to August. August, I'm looking at the Roll with Friends chat right now. Did you hit a 5 on your insight check?
I did.
Oh, baby. So I know your insight is going up. You played with that dog, but not enough.
Oh, I am sitting at a healthy 3 right now.
Okay. You are sitting at a healthy 3 right now. Just give me a quick blurb about how you're responding to your violin retuning itself and your half consciousness, but you're also staring at Dallas and have been for hours.
The fact that I've been staring at Dallas for hours, despite the fact that I went to bed early with the intention of sleeping, is that probably is that's probably a source of the upset that I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
Is the fact that I'm just overtired from the emotional exhaustion that was yesterday on top of the physical exhaustion that I'm now starting this day with.
Yeah.
And the sound of like the violin that's like retuning, and it's discordant and sharp, and it doesn't sound like a violin should, automatically makes me want to go back and retune the violin. But we have classes this morning. I can do it in class. It happens at the beginning of, practice every day anyway, because, things get jostled around, your instrument becomes out of tune a little bit. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to make sure that I pack away my violin, but I'm shook from the emotional and physical exhaustion that was everything that happened on the boat and with my mother, and I'm tired and I need something to uplift a little bit, which isn't happening. So my mind is a little strained.
Okay. And last but not least, because apparently Twee is perfectly fine. I love Bucho's facial expressions. Jesus, they're so good. Dallas, going back up here, did I see a 4? Did your insight go up too?
I started out with a 4, so
You're okay. You're coasting.
I'm okay.
You're okay. You're coasting.
Dallas is a very well-adjusted young woman.
Clearly. She's adjusting beautifully to this campus, because you do actually, when you finally come out of this suspended, mesmerized state, you are standing on the pier. That is very real, and you are very tired. Oh, come back to us, Chris. You're muted, baby.
At this point, it's not even my feet that's hurting. It's just kind of like everything. It's
everything else.
The soreness is branching up through my legs, through my ribs, through my spine, and everywhere. But it's also sort of like an exhilarating nausea. Ecstatic, but ill at the same time. Because I have been dancing. I have been doing what my body is meant to do.
Yeah. And you just found a more than suitable substitute for Devil's Reef. All right, guys, we are going to get into, so just out of game to give you an idea of the pacing. Now that you're on campus, we montage the first 3 days of being at the Miskatonic Shoreside. There are a couple of roles, and then it's mostly shared narrative between the 5 of you on how your first 3 days go. I'm not looking to spend more than maybe 15-20 minutes on this area, and then I'm going to kick you guys into days 4 through 20, which is going to be like your next week to 3 weeks, which is where you're all going to kill yourselves, and then I'm just going to sit back and watch. So we're just going to tee up exactly how much damage you guys are going to do to yourselves. So this is your tee up for your montage, more or less, for days 1 through 3. Over the course of the next 3 days, you will be working alongside your private instructors. You will attend group lectures. You will enjoy campus recreation. And that's everything from shoreside bonfires with the rest of the students, campus green picnics, truth or dare games with your cabin mates, or maybe you just want to sleep when you're not going through this super strenuous academic regimen. So again, I need to do these super fast so I can get you guys into half of the stuff that you just sent me in private message. But I need each of you, please, to roll me a human die and an occupation die to generally see how well you guys have been doing since your arrival. So I'm looking for a 2d6 on this one, and I'm just going to go in the order that I found them, which is perfect here. Twee, Bucho, you hit a 4 and a 2. A 2 is pretty sloppy for your occupation. A 4, you're human. You're at least performing at human competency right now. You're able to at least get the job done, but it's coming more from your humanity than it's actually coming from your craftsmanship. Here are the things I quickly need from you. Please give the table and everyone listening a quick description of your new private instructor. This includes name, appearance, and their temperament and kind of like their relationship towards you. And then give me an idea of what you've been up to here on the last 3 days as you're struggling with your paint work. But Twee is maybe adapting better or worse, depending on how you want to interpret that for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what you get is as soon as she wakes up that first day, you get Bikini Kill playing in the background as this montage of her is like lacing up the boots, throwing on another combat or another sundress, her like kind of cracked out, but like ready to kick some ass with whatever comes. So does she get tired after days of study? Yes, but she's also kind of electrified because she is, even though she's not creating anything yet, I imagine her kind of walking around the entire campus, getting a feel for the place, like trying to add into the inspiration that she has already felt coming over from the boat. So I think you would also see her knocking several times and no one coming to the door on the director's cabin. Because she would like to speak with Heather Downs at some point, which is also part of the reason she has not really jumped into painting, because she has been told that she should not do that, though she's still not sure why. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my mentor.
Yeah, that's what I need. Give me your
all right.
instructor.
So her instructor is Melissa Broward. Twee in her mind calls her Mousy Melissa because she is a very slight woman wearing cardigans. She's got like pink see-through glasses that have a chain on them, like a librarian. And she's like middle-aged, so she's also a little frail looking. She moves a little slowly, but she is a wealth of information. She lived a wild life, but no longer does. So she's kind of like, yeah, I've been there. This is more my speed these days, kind of thing. She is very well knowledgeable about different periods of art, but specifically with Twee's style, because she likes to make sure she knows what the students' art is like so that she can tailor a game plan for them when they're there.
Okay. I imagine that if you're not actively painting, that Melissa would also consent with this, because she's probably under a similar directive of don't let her start painting until she's actually had some FaceTime with Heather Downs. So I imagine that, like you said, you're going through historical periods. She's reviewing some of your art. A lot of this is a lot of introspection and a lot of non-technique. So we're doing research, introspection, kind of things of that nature, but you're not actually putting paint to canvas or anything to canvas right now. And I would imagine that Mousy Melissa is probably like, nope, don't. Tell me about your dreams. Let's talk through them, but don't you dare start painting until you've had some time to spend with Hannah Downs.
Yeah, and I imagine like a lot of those days are kind of like the "Oh Captain, My Captain" scene, where it's like, yeah, you can't paint right now, but you should at least go check out different perspectives of the campus. Like just consume, and then we'll produce later. Like the more you have to work with, the more we can do.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
I love how you tied that in with a 4-2 roll, because with a 2, you're not really, you might be messing around with mixing some paints or exploring color palettes and things, but you're not actually painting. But 4, you're at least catching on to the lectures that are being provided to you, the information that's being dropped. Great interpretation of your 4-2 there. I absolutely love it. Jumping up to August. August, you hit a 5-1. So, Allie, again, high humanity. You're either catching on, or you're plugged in, or you're dialed in, or you have an awareness about what's going on that's causing you to perform well, but your actual technique is really sloppy right now. Same thing for you, baby. Give me your montage for the past 3 days. You can tie in the dream sequence, not the dream sequence that you just experienced. And then also I need the details on your private instructor.
Okay, so the lack of sleep and lack of emotional, just the pure exhaustion that overtook me, especially the first day, takes
Yeah.
a couple days to kind of try to power through that. And also there's a certain amount of distracted, because even though I'm not calling my mother every night, because she has basically made it clear that she doesn't want to hear from me, at least while I'm away, because probably I just need to work hard. I haven't gotten to meet with the director yet, and that was something that she felt was very important. So that probably has a certain amount of distraction that's added to my not being able to entirely focus. So my playing has been very poor.
Okay. Okay.
But I've been very in tune with the fact that I just haven't gotten adequate rest.
Okay.
And my private instructor is Joanna Lagrange. And
Lagrange. Okay.
she is from down south. She's from New Orleans country. And she specializes in essentially haunting sounding music.
Ooh.
She specifically coaches for orchestras that, are doing anything for like horror movie soundtracks and stuff like that. So she specializes in something like that, and since it was something that I was interested in exploring, the kind of discordant music, and that's also what's leading me into the practice for, what I'm hoping is going to achieve me, a first chair role at some point in my life. All of that ties together, so I was able to essentially have longer conversations with her before even coming to the course and everything, and convince her to be my private instructor during the time that I'm here.
Oh, beautiful, elegantly done. Oh, poor Jamal. Okay. Jamal, you hit a 1 on your human, which is scraping the very bottom of the barrel from a human perspective. You hit a 4 on your performance, so at least your work with the saxophone is human competency. But babe, talk us through how you're doing, your montage for the next 3 days, and then I also need your instructor.
So we'll start with the instructor. His name
Okay.
is Raphael Holiday, older African
Such a good
American,
name.
older African American gentleman.
Okay.
He's got short twists that have all gone gray. Wears gold rimmed glasses. Tends to have them blend between just everyday prints and these tropical shirts that also then occasionally got this splash of like mud cloth and kente cloth on it and such. What has quickly become apparent, and especially after they'd had a chance to talk, because he normally works in like Miami, so he's working on the blend between, and he's played for Gloria Estefan. He's worked with that blend of combining the sort of Caribbean music with jazz music as well, that blend. But what quickly becomes apparent as they're talking is that Jamal has to go back all the way to the basics. Because in their conversations, they come to realize his music teacher in Kingsport was purposely handicapping him. The YouTube stuff he's been finding has been allowing him to just get by. because of the teacher's handicapping.
Okay.
So he's taking him back to the beginning to get him into the actual basics to get him to better perform.
Holy shit. Great interpretation of that role. Okay. Okay. So you're going back to you're at a school for elite performers right now. And Raphael Holiday just told you, it's like, and nope, we are going back to the beginning. We need to go. We need to restart your entire technique. This is rubbish. We're starting again.
No argument there, trying to surrender and go into this. And especially as that aspect of realizing he was purposely handicapping.
Yeah.
Why was he handicapping him?
Yeah.
So that shit on the boat was you operating at like a 2, and we're gonna need you at like 11.
Need you like here.
Holy shit.
So
All
then
right.
that comes up that moment. It's like these rare moments when the music comes out in that way. It's like when he did the performance to get into the school was one of those rare moments where everything seemed to click. What happened on the boat was those rare moments it seemed to have clicked.
Yeah. Those moments where the pieces just connect together, but it's whoa.
Which is why the
down my back. That was great.
Which is why the performance on the dock was so shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. Until you push the roll, push your sanity and shift it.
But he's been expected to fail every time he's played. And he's only been playing for like 3 years compared to the others.
Ooh. Y'all are so fucked. Okay. Dallas, you hit a God help all of y'all. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You did it to yourself. Dallas, you hit a 4, which is human competency on dance. It's not what got you into this. It's not what passed your audition to get into the Shoreside Conservatory, but it's human competency of dance. And no, let me correct that. I'm sorry. 4 is your human dice. Your first one is always your human dice. So as a human, you're connecting, you're understanding, you're getting into the groove of the campus. I'll let you interpret that how you want, but you are not dancing well. It looks like you hit a 2 on your dance, which is way below human competency. What's going on?
What really can you expect of me? Because I did that manic dance for like 8 hours, and not only are my feet sore, but when I came out of that trance, it just felt like my knees had split apart, and I'm just kind of like striving to like, for the first day, I am just kind of like limping across the campus. But worse than that, I am having a hard time getting in touch with the fire that ignited me, that allowed me to move.
Yeah.
It is not simply a human thing when I dance. It is like tapping into something primal. Like dancing into the force that makes the waves roll and crash.
Yeah.
And I'm not feeling that right now. And my instructor sees that. She is her name is Sierra Saint, Sainte, and at first I find her very annoying. She is very much a California arts kind of person. From grew up in Big Sur, and she kind of looks like if all the members of Fleetwood Mac had a mass orgy, and she's the child that came out of that union.
What's even better is you guys can't see our producer's face, but we can. And Alex almost fell out of his chair. Sorry, Chris. You almost broke our producer.
Yeah. So basically for the first day, Dallas is internally rolling her eyes every time Sierra speaks, and tries to talk to her about like getting in touch with the dancer inside, getting in touch with nature, and it's just like, okay, this person is a flake and doesn't know what she's talking about. But like on the second and third day, my body is starting to heal itself, but I'm also listening to her more, and I am, I'm sort of hearing that she knows something about movement, about the basic primal nature of dance. You know, that it can't be reduced down to all the theories that usually come in art schools.
Yeah.
So
This is something more feral, more primal, more
yeah.
inherent.
So she's trying to get me to get back into that more feral state of mind.
And with a 2, it's right there on the tip of your tongue, but it's eluding you. You can't connect with it, and it is very, very frustrating. Beautifully done, guys. Over the next 3 days, your insights will roll back by 1, as there is some healing, some mollycoddling from our instructors and things of that nature. You're starting to feel like you're getting into a routine. You feel like okay, I understand the inner workings of the campus. Some things were strange, but maybe we can chalk that up to XYZ. However you want to reconcile your recent experiences, but you're moving through time. And at one point, Bucho, just tell me breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'm going to throw you guys all in the cafeteria together.
Lunch.
All right, so you guys are having lunch in the student hall. It's one of those days where it's raining, and even just raining on this campus, there's something beautiful about it, because with those floor to ceiling glass panes, it's like you're standing on the inside of a waterfall or a thunderstorm. And of course, thunderstorms, that sound is very nostalgic. That scent is very nostalgic to you guys, especially due to August. Congratulations on that one. And there's something beautiful about just watching the rain and the clouds move over on the ocean. It's just something about the way the rain patters on the ocean and makes the water jump and agitates the wildlife inside of it. It's just something really beautiful. And that is when a bright redhead opera singer, because at this point in day 3, you guys can pick up on everyone else's talents. Sylvia Whitehead slides onto the table with you guys, completely uninvited. And she says, "Hey, you guys mind if I sit?" Quick reminder on Sylvia Whitehead. This is the one that appeared and tried to pull Twee and August out of their room to go to the pond and refused. Dallas and Jamal, you guys were with Sylvia. She came out of the pond. It was completely horrendous. And shook just like the 2 of you guys were. The one thing you 2 do pick up on, at some point, she actually confronted Jeremy Leitner, maybe on day 2 or something like that. He was somewhere on campus, and she went and confronted him, and there was some type of an argument or a situation that happened where he wanted to dismissing her, and she was pretty upset. That was all the detail you guys saw. This is either something you saw as you were walking somewhere else, or you were looking out of the window of your lecture hall when you should have been paying attention to your instructor. So she slides in. "Hey, do you guys mind if I sit?"
The sound of her voice is immediately like chalk on my soul's chalkboard.
Okay.
Just no. I'm like, oh, it's you. Sure.
She sits down, not oblivious, but intentionally not caring that you don't care that she's there. She also didn't actually ask permission to sit down either. She just kind of sat her ass down. So, and she pulls out her phone and puts it right in the center of the table with you guys. You see her hit a button, and you can see that little red circle pop up, which means she's recording. And she just,
Doink. Nope. Mm-mm.
"I'm sorry. Why are you touching my shit? If you don't want to be recorded, you could just say, 'Hey, no, please don't record me,' or you could get up and fucking leave."
Well, we were here first, and also you didn't even fucking ask, so
That's fair. So, and she picks up her phone again, but she doesn't hit record. She just puts it down. "Day 3, huh? Wild ride at the conservatory. What do you guys think so far?"
I'm just kind of looking at her because she's broken me out of my reverie, where I'm sort of trying to find the dance in my mind, and I am sort of looking at her with this quiet stare, like I would like to rip her throat out. It might not be what someone like her immediately picks up, but if you know it, it's there, and I'm like, we don't want to talk right now. Go away.
Well, two of you don't want to talk, but you don't speak for the entire table. Right? And she immediately looks over to Jamal. Listen, I'm not going to hold you long. I just want to talk about the pond.
You know, before you mentioned the pond, I was willing to actually talk about more. But you know something? You're reminding me very much about Kingsport. And he gets up and walks away.
Wow. People, am I right? As he's looking over at you, August.
You were going to record this conversation for what? Prosperity's sake? I don't understand. Maybe it's best you leave.
No, I think it's best maybe I explain myself. So, we haven't met. We actually talked
no.
like through a door.
No. We're done. Please go.
Really?
Twee is eating chips, and they're very crunchy.
No.
And so she leans over the phone. She's just chomping very loudly. That's what we have as comment. That's how we like the days
unless
on campus.
Yeah. Unless you are the daughter of the director and you're here to take all of us personally to her office to meet her, I don't have any business with you when you were trying to actively hinder what I needed for my first night here. So you can go.
That's fine, Cabin C. I guarantee you, before this program is over, you guys don't want to talk to me. And she's getting up. She's reaching her phone out from underneath you here, Twee, to stop the chips from falling over. She's looking over her shoulder to where Jamal has gone to. And then she looks dead at you, Dallas. She's like, if you haven't told them about the pond, you should probably tell them about the pond.
Bye.
What I tell them is my business.
The 7 other students that were there would probably disagree, but it's fine if you didn't find anything weird about the entire pond situation. Perhaps that says more about you than it does to me. And she is up. She's got her food tray with her. She says, "Don't worry, you'll want to talk to me eventually." And you see her move. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jamal's gone to the far table next to the window and is just trying to stare out at the rainwater as it goes by.
Okay.
Twee's going to turn to Dallas and say, "What the fuck happened at the pond?" No, I'm interested. Just tell me later.
And you guys see Sylvia almost with an intentionality, like she's scoping out tables and she finds another pocket of students. And you can see that she looks at her phone, she looks up at the table, looks at the phone, looks like she has some affirmation. She goes and does the exact same thing with them. But when she places the phone in the center of the table and they all see her recording, you can kind of see, like, 4 heads and her all kind of come in conspiratorially over the phone as they're discussing something.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
I'm disappointed you missed an opportunity to throw another phone into the ocean.
That's what the chat said too.
I sincerely thought about it. I'm trying to keep my cool because I'm here now, and that woman was not from here. This one is here. I'm trying to behave, which is why I'm not throwing anything over there, because apparently they are all okay with it. So whatever. But yeah, I think she's kind of a twat. I'm not interested in that. She gives me weird vibes. I don't like it.
She actively wrote on my door what cabin she was in so that if I changed my mind, I could come find her later.
That's a little extra. I don't.
There's a reason that I haven't, gone looking for her.
Sure. I mean, she's loud enough that you don't have to look that hard.
No. And let's be perfectly honest, I have more important things to do than entertain whatever the fuck is going on in her head.
Agreed. How are classes going for you guys?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess. What about you?
It's tough. I mean, I'm learning more, but I'm not really doing any painting yet. Which kind of sucks.
As we talk about this, I'm just kind of like massaging my thigh, like right above my knee. Still feeling like twinges of pain right there, and it's sort of a semi-conscious move.
I'll be right back, and I'm gonna get up and walk over to Jamal.
Okay.
We told her to shove off. It's not her fucking place. You want to come back, or do you want to zen here?
Yeah, I'll come back. I'll
Okay.
come back to join the table.
Family
Jamal?
reunited.
How are your classes doing?
I'm back at the fucking basics. Turns out, oh yeah, well, you want to know why I was so pissed off when she started talking about the pond?
Sure, yeah. Like Dallas hasn't told me yet.
The pond's its own deeper thing, but it was just so much of a reminder of what I deal with at home back in Kingsport. I either got people who are being exceedingly polite to me, telling me that or giving me shit, or just dismissing me all the time.
Mm,
And right now, she came off as the second.
yeah.
And I can't tell, especially after what I've been learning these last few days about what I've been taught in school, how much of this is me, how much is them. And frankly, and I'll look over at August, I would much rather be living in Baltimore where there's more of us around it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So we're all crushing it right now. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's not from lack of wanting to. It's the fact that that first day really fucked me up. I'm just now finally getting enough sleep that maybe I'm gonna actually be somewhat useful in my own lessons for once.
Well, if
As
she
you
bo-
guys- Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say, if you guys get bothered by Sylvia again, you holler at me, okay?
Well, I'm tempted to find out what the fuck that girl's all about
Kind of
without
don't.
her permission.
Well, for that, it'd probably be helpful if we could finally talk with the director, because I know I asked to talk to her.
But
Yeah,
also,
and
she let us know which cabin she lives in, so we could always break in.
that was kind of my thinking.
Are you? And at which point I'll sort of look at August and then look at Dallas. Say, do you think we should return some pranks and just sort of give him the eyebrows?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm down.
I just lightly curse under my breath, and I say, "Twee, aren't you the one who was trying to keep it cool?"
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we can't fuck with her.
Sometimes fucking with a person is the only way to get them to stay the fuck away from you. And I'm pretty sure that's a girl I want to stay the fuck away from me.
I will assume you guys have told me about what happened at the pond. So now I'm trying to figure out if there is a surplus of mannequins somewhere on the island that we could set up in her room. Much like the first season of oh man, now I'm forgetting the name of the show. The Leftovers.
Oh God, still one of my favorite series of all time. So score to that show, Walked on Water. Please continue.
Yeah. So that's what's going through my head now as far as like messing with Sylvia. Like nothing damaging physically, but I don't have a problem messing with her psychologically.
Huh. So as you guys are having this discussion, there is a change, a deliberate, significant shift in the atmosphere of the room. And it's one of those things that you feel, you sense, you smell, you inherently just know. And just as you're edging, like, okay, something is, without even turning around, without even looking over your shoulder, without looking up from your plates, you know that Rue has entered the room. It's just one of those things. Now there's something that she carries with her, an aura that changes the room. You're catching the smell of dough and cinnamon and brown sugar. You're hearing Nola music. It's just one of those things. When she walks into the room, the entire room just lifts. And when you do finally look over your shoulder or look up and you see her, like, she is going to the smoothie bar, and she's, going to the little tiki hut, and she's getting insert some cute smoothie that she's carrying around, and she's doing her rounds with different pockets of students, but she's being very intentional for the single wallflowers to touch base with them. And she's just familiar with everyone that she meets. Like she's able to put her hands on people's shoulders. She's able to do like the head leaning on your shoulders. There's just something very familiar about her. And you can see that she's on her way to your table. Her smoothie is about half finished and it's the whipped cream is still sitting on the top. And God knows what weird berry blend that she has to get that weird purple color out of space color. But she comes to the table and she looks at you and she says, Cabin C, how are you guys?
Apparently, we're just barely making it, but we're okay.
That's okay. And she looks at a chair next to August. She says, "May I?"
Yeah, please.
And
Someone
she
shows manners.
Yeah, somebody asked. That's cool.
Your presence is welcome.
You
You're
may sit here.
invited. She slides down as that cinnamon just whoosh, washes over the table. And she looks up and she says, "So the first few days, depending on the first few weeks, can be really hard. You're going through decompression, you're sleeping in a new environment, there are new people, and the program is meant to be strenuous. So if you're not performing quam vestri somnia now, don't worry. I have every faith and every confidence that you will soon. These are early days, guys. It's 72-hour marker right now. Early days, early days, early days."
Performing who?
So Rue, what? How? I'll try to talk to Heather at some point.
Yes. No. So, yes. Sorry. I like you guys and I got distracted about that. She wanted to know if she could do breakfast at your cabin, either tomorrow or the day after, if one of those works. She'd come over. She does the whole food thing. She's like this really great cook and she does like fire and tricks and the food is actually really good too.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
let her
would be baller. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sooner the better,
Yes.
Okay.
preferably.
Tui, I give you my word. She hasn't been avoiding you. It's just early days in campus. There are a lot of moving pieces, getting your instructors adjusted, getting the students adjusted. Not everyone is doing as well as you guys are, despite the fact that you don't think you're doing really well.
I get it. I'm not mad about it. I really want to get to work, and I have been given the idea that I shouldn't do anything until I've spoken to her yet, and I really want to just get to work.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think speaking to her will give you some clarity. Oh, Tui, I was able to tour your private studio this morning, and it is. I think you're gonna love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is very you.
Is it big? Because I've been toying with an idea that might include my friend Dallas here.
And she looks over and just Dallas says she just throws you a smile that's like 10 miles of everything is gonna be okay. For a moment there, you think like, is your leg no longer hurting, or are you just so distracted by her that you're not thinking about the pain? It's a weird blend there. Oh, I think collaborations are great, right? She looks at Dallas say for like affirmation to make sure she doesn't need to bail you out of something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Twee has some great ideas.
Good. Tweet,
And
I
they're
think
not
it's
coming to me on my own.
sized. Good. Well, no, not good. It will. Dallas say show yourself some kindness. It's day 3. You know, you've got 30 days. You've only hit the first 10%. It's okay if these are a wash. And tweet if the room isn't big enough for whatever you're envisioning, just leave me a message on the blue light and I'll make sure that they do what they can to either expand it or get you transferred to another room. We have plenty of space.
Well, I was looking at the campus map too. Is there is it okay to perhaps practice in like the amphitheater or somewhere else on campus that is not a studio space? I mean, I'd probably do it anyway, but is that okay?
I'm not going to make you roll for this, but I will say when you ask that question, can you perform in the amphitheater? There is a very visible beat. And after that beat, that moment, that breath passes, she says, yeah, that's perfectly fine. The entire campus is yours to explore, investigate, interact with, perform, leisure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just and you can feel whatever it is she's wanting to say. She's like, just be careful and just don't overextend yourself.
Okay.
And that's the best swoop she could come up with, and it was total bullshit.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. So, okay. I'll just assume like the amphitheater is like busted, like it's just broken down and hasn't been taken care of. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I guess we'll be careful.
Yeah. And she's starting to pull herself out of her chair because whatever it is about that conversation, she doesn't want to engage anymore. And she's not sly enough to make that not obvious. So she's pulling herself out of the chair and she looks over. She says, Jamal, August, fellas, you guys okay?
Yeah. There was a girl, I don't remember her name. She
Sylvia.
there you go. Thanks, Jamal.
The
She's
annoyance.
going around to tables and recording conversations. She tried that at our table without our permission. I just thought you should be made aware in case there's anything that comes up as a result of it.
She sits back down. What did she ask?
We didn't
Well,
really give her a chance because she didn't come in with any kind of,
politeness.
yeah, that's the nice way to put it.
Hmm.
She sat
And
down, put her phone out, hit record, and was basically either going to interrogate us about something that happened at the lake or, I don't know, get our deep opinions on something. Either way, not my business. I don't care. But
Which
whatever,
begs the
whatever.
question: what is your policy on cell phones going into the lake?
wait, really? Oh God.
I'm asking.
No, it's hysterical because we literally the headquarters got the invoice for that stupid phone that you threw into the ocean earlier this morning. We still think it's hysterical. I think it's hysterical. Please do not throw her phone into the lake.
I assumed that
I
was the case. I just wanted to confirm.
I personally would appreciate it if you didn't throw her phone into the lake.
So are other pranks allowed? Nothing that harms anybody, of course.
Oh my
Our little
God.
secret.
Okay, so you guys are feeling better. So glad to see that. And she's raising herself out of the chair again. And no bullshit. Your insight rolls back by 1. You do feel better. Being
Fantastic.
around her is like being around that goddamn dog. It's just there's something about her that's home. And she's like, okay, well, since you guys are feeling better, I am gonna go check on the rest of the students and maybe get another smoothie. August,
Can
thank you for telling me that. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. I'll look into that. I don't know what she could be doing. I don't know what she's it
Well,
doesn't matter.
here's a question, and just something that pops off in the back of my mind. Do you know if Sylvia encountered what's her name at the dock coming in as well?
Who, babe?
Well, the one, and a point towards Twee, the one who got the invoice from, because she wanted to know about our NDAs. Told her no, but she was definitely curious about the NDAs. And Nana's, despite her time in entertainment, she made another career working with legal and entertainment law. So she wanted to see my NDA, and I basically said, "Well, you got to talk to my grandmother because she's the one who authorized my signature and such." But she was very interested in that, and she wanted to see that and hear our story about this place.
Yeah, this is Priest Marisol from Elevated
That's it.
Arts.
That's it.
Yeah. Did she ambush you guys too? She's looking over at Dallas, say August and Twee.
That's why her phone went into the water. Yeah.
Yeah, she tried to talk to all of us.
I mean, as annoying as the film TV crew was, they were at least more polite.
By a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And she looks over her shoulder and Sylvia's at that table with the other 4 people, but there's something about they got swept into the essence as Rue as well. So once Rue landed, everything got kind of casual. The phone got picked up. And now it looks more like a casual conversation more than a conspiratorial one. And she says, "Thanks, Jamal. I appreciate you giving me a heads up. I just please don't share your NDAs. Like, not only is that tacky, but that's really unprofessional, and you might get banished from the program. And at this point, you guys have don't make good decisions. How about that? Is that?"
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
thought you should be aware of whatever she's pulling. That's all.
Banished from the program. That sounds like an interesting way of phrasing it.
Twee just smiles. There's no
another beat. Dallas, if you say that out loud, there's another beat as she's self-correcting herself, but she's not doing it out loud.
Hey, I listen to my lawyer, and especially if it's my Nana, I'm listening to her.
Okay.
Dallas did say that out loud, but she was just kind of like trying to joke around.
That joke fell on a not captive audience with Rue. that joke felt like a correction on her, but she bounced back. She stabilized, but she's really hating herself for the verb banished that she used. She says, "Okay, thank you. Breathe. It's okay. It's early days. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. And Hannah will be by bright and early tomorrow. It's going to wind up shaving your first class. So instructors will, update your itineraries and things of that nature, but she'll have you for the first part of the morning. But it's not like you're going to get penalized for you with Hannah. So
quick mechanics question.
Yeah, hit me.
Sorry.
No.
Insight, does it go down to 0 or does it cap out at 1?
Caps out at 1.
Okay.
Yep. Lowest you can go is 1.
Cool.
She says, "Okay. Who has the highest insight right now? Give me a ring off."
I got a 1.
1.
I got a 4.
I think I'm at a 4.
So
actually, I'm at a 1 now.
There we go. I was going to say, Dallas, you should be down at least 2. I've given you 2 in just this game session.
Oh, okay.
So at least dial yourself back down to 2. So Dallas being the highest, I heard 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2. Dallas as Rue is getting ready to leave the table, she looks at you and she says, "Call the dog. She'll help you sleep. Rillier is great for that. Just use the tools that are available to you, okay?"
And as she walks away, I'll then look to the others. Shave gives me an idea. Do you think there's shaving cream over in the convenience store?
I mean, probably. We have to keep shaved up, am I right?
That, and I'm sure it all, in some regards, Dallas wants to have those looking great when she's dancing too. So I'm thinking we need to figure out how to get into her room. We need some cans of shaving cream, and we need seaweed.
Yeah. Oh, that smell already is nauseating.
I have no idea what is being planned, but it sounds marvelous.
If it's what I think it is, those cans of shaving cream are going to need to be frozen first. Okay, it's what I'm thinking. Cool.
Fuck
All
me.
right.
So, did she happen to leave what? So she left her cabin number scrawled on my door, right?
Yep.
Did she give me any instructions for what room was hers?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's Sylvia. She doesn't care. She's in cabin A, room number 4.
Okay, perfect.
So it's A, B, C. They've been calling you cabin C. She's in the very first one.
Okay. So at least we know where to find her. She left her essentially contact information just scrawled up on my door.
Good. So, should we try it after class? Next lunch period? Maybe dinner time?
You can't do this kind of thing like day of. Like, there has to be
No.
recon, there has to be space, there has to be a little bit of time between. We got to do it right.
Okay,
So
so we case the joint. But you know what we can get right now? Let's do a shopping trip to get the shaving cream at least.
Shopping episode! Yay!
Shopping episode! Yay!
Because
Kill everybody at this table.
Dallas is kind of like having conflicting feelings right now because on the one hand, that woman really did kind of piss her off, but
Yeah.
on the other hand, she's like really eager to get back to work and is kind of like afraid that Twee is getting distracted from our collaboration.
Oh.
So I'm like, Twee, when I think this sounds cool, but when are we going to get work on our thing?
I mean, we can work on it tonight. We can start planning. I already have ideas, but I really want to talk to Heather first before I really start doing anything at all. It's like,
Why talk to Heather?
this is what I've been told by multiple people. Kind of why I'm in a bad mood because I haven't been able to create in a while. Like, I mean, imagine if you were unable to, like, if you couldn't dance for like
Well,
weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I sort of know how that feels, but I'm kind of hoping that you and I can help each other with that. That's why I'm looking forward to this collaboration.
Oh, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I can't do anything yet. Like I am technically restrained from doing anything. It's
Okay.
not a desire. There is something else that is keeping me from doing it, unfortunately.
Okay.
But trust me, I'm not going to forget it. We're going to do this. This is going to be a thing for us.
Gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
So
Whether it's good or not.
So since the bottleneck is Heather Downs and you guys are scheduled to have breakfast with her tomorrow, okay for me to roll to day 4?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that, probably do a little bit of that was the question I had. Are all of the cabins laid out the same?
No, they're completely different. Alex, can you do me a favor and throw up the map handout, please? While I look for it in this book too.
Because I want to figure out which room is Sylvia's. And
And I'm
probably
looking at-
like
So if you're looking at 10,
yeah.
those are the cabin maps right now. Oh, shit. Alex, can you throw it in the Discord too, please, for them?
And we're in
love your face.
we're in the U building, correct?
Yeah, you're in the one that's shaped like a U. So that's cabin
Okay.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie. You're in the horseshoe U-shaped one. So she's in the very first one. August, this isn't like it's day 3 and students are distracted, but it's also like the common cabins tend to stay open unless somebody is intentionally locking them because they're like communal spaces. So it's easy for you to get in. That's not even like,
no,
hard. And you
I
can just look and figure out where 4 is or get an
Yeah.
idea of it from the exterior.
yeah, it was more to see it both from the inside and outside.
Yeah.
And is 4 on the first or second floor? These are all
Yeah.
very important details, Bridget.
These are important details. This is a second floor corner unit. Thanks, Alex. Yep,
Okay.
second floor corner unit.
We're gonna need to Mission Impossible it maybe.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Maybe, but also
Alex, bring up the music.
Dun, 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 dun. Realistically, I think if we have Heather in our cabin for breakfast tomorrow, that means that her cabin should be at class by the time that we're done, which means since we're already going to be missing part of our, since we're already going to be missing that lesson, we might as well utilize that time and set it up for while she's still in class.
Oh, August, I am a fan of you. I like the way your brain works. Let's do it.
So one of our tasks for tonight is also going by the seashore and finding as much seaweed as we can, and get
Okay.
these shower from these saving foam cans into the cold as much.
Yeah, it's lunchtime. Do we have classes this afternoon, Bridget?
Oh yeah, they don't play, honey. It's dusk till dawn around here.
Okay.
But you guys, I mean, you're on lunch right now. You can go and get all the shaving cream you want.
Let's just go throw it in before the next set of classes starts.
And then we do the seaweed after class.
Yeah.
And do the seaweed after class at night. That night there is a bonfire on the beach. The majority of the students and maybe a handful of the staff that's there. Rue is not there. Jeremy Leitner is not there. Whomever this mysterious Hannah Downs isn't there. But some of the other staff members are there, like Princess, your resident physician from South Africa. She's there, and it's just right there on the shore. It's the big fire. They have faux drinks. There's water. There is music being played. Just one. There's a cellist that is out there by the name of haha. Yeah, there's a Muslim cellist out there, female, that you guys pick up. Her name is Bahia Mohammed. And she is sitting there on a blanket. She's got some type of rock or pedestal set up where she can actually kind of balance the cello. And she's playing. And it's one of those nights that you guys are able to hop into the water, either in view, out of view. It doesn't matter. Because lots of people are jumping in and out of the water. Students are jumping off the pier. Sylvia is there. It's a very fun time. S'mores are running around. And it's one of those things that your insight will roll back again. Again, you can't go to 0, but if you're at 2, your insight does roll back by 1. The dog is there running around, having the time of his life, picking up graham crackers. And it's just one of those nights. It's a really beautiful, cool, relaxing night. It doesn't go too long. The fires eventually are stifled. And you guys have all the seaweed and frozen shaving cream that you guys want. The following moment, your front doorbell rings. Again, I just described these are pretty much open access for the more communal spaces, but it rings and it is waiting someone to come to the door.
Yeah, no, I would have already been dressed. I am down the stairs in a flash to open that door.
I'm imagining August hits that last stair, slides on a rug, restabilizes, and is able to get to the door. Alex, will you please tee up Hannah Downs with a handout, please?
Twee is definitely still in bed. Like she's still sleeping for sure.
Still sleeping.
Yeah.
Jamal will slip downstairs and knock briefly on Dallas's door, and then go knock on Twee's to remind them about. Let me see if they're up.
Okay.
I'm trying to sleep, but not really. I'm sort of like my legs are twitching, trying to find a rhythm.
Okay. Your legs are twitching and they're just not in sync with the sound of the ocean waves crashing behind you, and that is driving you up a fucking wall, Dallas said. August, you slide to the door. Alex put the hand up for the viewers. It should be in your Discord chat too. Love your face, Alex. So much for doing all of this for me. And standing there, you see Hannah Downs. She has a very patient, very calming aura about her, and she is standing beside one of those massive food carts. And there's like, you can see that there's fresh, different, various cuts of meat that are like wrapped in saran wrap. There's all type of fruits and vegetables. There's God knows how many different cheeses. And that's just the top layer of this cart that you can see. There's also a second and a third layer. You can see fruit poking out. And she smiles and she says, August, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Downs.
May I?
Yeah, please. And I'm going to hold open the door. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yes, I would love your assistance in the kitchen, please.
Perfect. My mama didn't raise me to be no slouch.
I think Twee would come down the stairs having heard all the rustle, and she's got her pink bunny slippers on, she's got her Nike shorts on, and her,
yes, God, to the pink bunny slippers and the Nike shorts.
and her sleeveless Slayer shirt. And so that's how she's coming down for breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really fast, August. The one thing I did want to respond, you made the statement, my mama didn't raise no slouch. Hannah gives you a very patient smile. She says, I'm very aware of how your mother raised you. Please. And put you down. Sorry, I just had to throw that one in.
No, it's fine. So yeah, I'll be helping her out with whatever she needs.
Okay. As of right now, you're just massively unpacking a cart. She's very meticulous about the way plates are arranged. And it doesn't take you long to catch on with her. It's just like whatever she has about her, she's very meticulous about the way plates are shaped. And as of right now, all she's doing is unpacking ingredients. And she has fucking everything from your meat to your fresh deli, to your eggs, to your produce, to even seasoning in those little white ceramic jars that are like everything is laid out that you're helping with right now. And Twee, you turn the corner and she turns and she looks to you and she says, good morning, Twee.
You're Hannah?
Yes.
Under her breath, she goes, Jesus, you're hot. Great. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while. Awesome. I'm still trying to wake up. Sorry.
I know. We have coffee here, yes. And she looks over at August. Would you be so
Yeah,
kind?
I already put it on a pot. Are you kidding?
Oh, beautiful.
knew-
So yeah, it's
listen,
brewing.
Listen. What time is it right now, Bridget?
Oh, she arrived at 6:30, honey.
Oh yeah, no, I've been up since
Alex's
5:30.
face. Okay, you've been waiting. You've been waiting.
No, I'm sure that we had gotten that information prior for what time she was going to be showing up.
Oh yeah, Rue would have
So-
called you. It's like she'll be there,
Yeah.
between 6:15 and 6:30.
So I was up, I was showered, I had coffee ready. Like,
August was on it.
yeah.
I'm just coming down, trudging in my bathrobe, and not terribly alert, but because I've been sort of awake and trying to get in touch with myself. But my feet are still bare and neatly manicured, because at some point in the night I just started clipping and sanding and filing my nails.
Yeah. Hannah looks to you and she smiles with this like pitiful, heartbroken smile. And, it vanishes, after she makes sure that you see it. She's very intentional about that. And she says, "Good morning, Dallas."
Just seeing that heartbroken smile just kind of makes me ache a little bit, because I don't want to like make her feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done something bad.
And Jamal, how are you rolling in?
After having knocked on Dallas Hayes and Tweed's door, went back upstairs and basically made a quick offering prayer.
Okay.
And as he's coming back in, you can see him tucking these two blue necklaces. One is a dark blue, the other one's a lighter blue, under his shirt. And he's dressed in jeans, nice shirt.
Okay. So you're at least fully dressed. You and August fully dressed. The rest of these bums rolled out how they rolled out. And I love it. She's here for it too.
I like how the guys are dressed up and the women are not.
She's like, fuck it.
That's hilarious.
I love it. I love it. And
Black mother, black grandmother.
Listen.
Yeah, fucking truth.
And you got company coming over, you better put some clothes on. Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And you better be cleaned up. You better be ready to receive company.
For sure. Hence why I
know how
love the
this goes.
correction with the coffee being ready. I absolutely love it. August, the one thing you do notice here is after you have unloaded rows 1, 2, and 3, there's a bottom row that doesn't have food supplies. This is all on the cart, but you're looking at like old FUBU shoe boxes. There's like a collapsible crate, those long plastic, storage containers that you would like slip underneath a platform, or not platform bed, but a bed for storage. There's a bunch of that on row 4. And when you do get to it, she doesn't give you anything other than like a, not a hiss, but like a, just to kind of like wave you off of that and like redirects you back to the food. But it does look like she's got gifts of some sort to share.
Yeah, I'm gonna just raise my eyebrow and like look back down at it and stand back up, because guaranteed this cart, I'm a pretty tall guy, so I'm gonna have to like like get all the way down to especially get to that second and third tier and get everything unloaded. So I'm just gonna cock an eyebrow and do that whole like look up, look down, look back up, and stand up thing.
Okay.
Like, I see you. I know there's something
We're
happening here.
We're here. We're here.
Miss Downs, it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. It's been so long since we had that chance to talk. And thank you for sitting my father's sax.
No, you're welcome. It was honestly an honor for me to be able to do so. And unlike Rue, who's constantly coming in for the hug me, there's nothing about her vibe that wants to be touched or is looking to touch. She's showing her affection verbally through her body language and things of that nature, but there's nothing like, she doesn't go to shake your hand, she doesn't go to hug you, but you can feel that she's genuinely happy to see you.
Tweed goes to take a sip of her coffee. Please touch me. Please touch me.
Where's this? I want to fuck the whole campus. 50 Shades of Shoreside. There we go. We managed to do it 2 streams in a row.
I really want Tweed to be thinking about our collaboration, not fucking the director.
Bucho, I really think Chris is trying to get your character killed. I'm convinced at this point that the push for the collaboration is to get you to go out the back door, and I am going to help Chris do this too. So
we can multitask.
You mean we can get killed and and do the collaboration at the same
It'd be
time.
amazing. Listen, Symphony Streams will
Yes.
go down in history for that shit. So,
Yeah, Jamal is actually next to Tweez fanning them just to cool them off.
you're okay. You're
Lord
okay.
Almighty.
Hannah begins the cooking process in August. It's one of those things where just instinctually, she's pulling you into this process. And you guys are running through this kitchen. She is actually a really good cook. There's a lot of theatricality to what she's doing, but she's not actually doing it for praise. She's actually doing it almost like it's routine or something that she enjoys doing it. And as long as she's entertaining herself, she's happy. But that type of vibe just kind of radiates out as she's cooking. And she gets a couple little cute small plates out to you guys. And I'm talking like, the little like poached egg with cute drizzly shit on it, like little things that she's feeding you as she's making small talk. And at some point, the small talk is unsatisfactory. And it's just one of those things everyone can feel in the room. And she says, "So we have questions, I assume. A handful of you have been very intentional about trying to get on my calendar. And I apologize. Early days are difficult on here."
Twee is still drinking the coffee, but she is very anxious to get into this conversation. I've stopped by. I realize you're busy, but like 2 weeks ago, I felt like a single stick of dynamite waiting to go off. And today I feel like a whole van full of fertilizer. Like, do you understand? Like, I need to create soon. And so when do I need your permission? Is there something I need to do? I've been told that I can't do anything until I've talked to you.
No, that was under my direction. And for the frustration that I have caused you, I do apologize. But I think it was most necessary for your own safety and sanity, if we're being honest. Have a seat.
She's already sitting cross-legged with the coffee in her hand. Yeah, she's
With
been on the
coffee
couch.
in her hand.
Yeah, she hasn't gone for any breakfast. She's just taking the coffee at this point.
I just kind of giggle nervously, and I'm like, our sanity, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, don't you think?
No, I don't think it is.
Well, remember what that experience with the pond?
Or the boat, from I understand, your ferry ride over.
And then the car ride.
Yes, I heard about the car ride. Please, I'll answer whatever questions I have. And at this point, all the food is prepared. August, you guys did a killer job. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with the rolling. You're sitting down. And as the food is being dispersed or has it out where you guys can make your own plate, she starts very slowly pulling out these boxes and things. And she starts sitting them on the table. And again, it's like this whole ritualistic procedure of her putting boxes out or putting containers out and things of that nature. And she says to Twee, give me just a quick second. Twee, in your own words, tell me where you get your inspiration for your art. I know. Of course I know. But I think it's important that Cabin C, and there's something about that designation again. It seems like all the staff is very intentional about looping you guys together by cabin numbers. I think all of Cabin C deserves to know if they don't already. And I think it'd be important for you to hear it from yourself.
Do you want to hear about my dreams? Because that's typically where my paintings come from.
Where do you think your dreams come from, Twee? Do you believe they're coming from a higher power? Do you believe it's just chemistry? Is it just something that humans do? Do you think it's a reflection of your psyche? What is your interpretation of a dream?
I mean, before I came here, I wouldn't know. Now I would say maybe the dream that I've been having makes a little more sense. But even still, I think it's not. I don't know. I can't answer that truthfully.
By the end of this program, you will be able to. That I can give you my word.
Okay.
Alex's I need to hide Alex's video because he keeps looking like y'all finna die constantly through this entire stream. And then she is going to look over to you, August. Actually, let me correct that. Sorry, this is one of those things that she has to be careful what she trickles out. So Bridget is trying to be careful what she trickles out and how. What I'm going to do is not put the burden of anything on me. I'm going to open up the table. And she says, what other questions do you have? Ha, put that shit on y'all.
Well, Jamal will gulp down a piece of bacon. I mean, unlike everyone else here, I've only been doing music for about 3 years since you sent me my dad's sax. All honesty, I'm here more to know my family. I mean, my mom died when I was 3.
She winces when you say that. Like she visibly winces.
My dad pretty much, I mean, the last memory I have of him, because they wouldn't let me visit him when he was in the funny farm, was my grandmother taking a gun out of his hands as he was weeping. And this was like only a few months after my mother died. I've barely had my time with my parents, but I know that this was an important place for them, especially because I saw the picture of them up in the memory hall. So I want to know them more than, I'll be frank, the music.
No, that makes sense. And I can assure you that they are very eager to get to know you as well. I've kept them updated to the best of my ability, but sometimes seeing is a lot better than. And she pauses and she says, allow me to show you something. And she, fingers over and she lands on that FUBU box, which if you guys remember had the weird openings. And she says, we have a word for students like you, Jamal and August. We call them legacy.
I'll look over at August. I mean, that was kind of obvious. Because there's actually, your mother is actually almost a spitting image of you. I'll show you the picture later.
Okay.
And she hands you this shoebox, Jamal.
I'll take the box.
It's light. As you move it, it sounds like papers are rustling and things of that nature.
And then I'll open it up.
Okay. This is a craft box. From what you can tell, it is filled with over decade-old letters, notes, and cards. From what you can tell, it is in 2 very distinct handwritings. One is very feminine, the other one is more masculine. Some of them are written in English, which you obviously can read, and the rest are written in a language that's more a collection of symbols that are strewn, tied together. The symbols feel familiar in a way, but not anything that you can actually determine why it feels familiar. And as you are looking over these letters, notes, and cards, they're all addressed to Hannah Downs. They're all dated approximately 15 years ago. And you're getting love letters from a point of appreciation, not actual like infatuation or romantic love, but like praise for Hannah's support and love and mentorship. You're seeing phrases written in a female's handwriting that you quickly associate with the signatures, that these are going to be both your parents writing letters to Hannah. And one of the last ones that your mother wrote, and as you're reading it in your head, you notice that Hannah is mouthing the words to herself. And the last letter, at least that was dated from your mother, says, we wouldn't have made it without you. You saved our lives. You created my life. I've never been so happy. He's beautiful.
Jamal is just sort of continuing to reread the letters, very mute, gone completely silent. There's 2 stacks, the ones he can read and the one he's curious, but right now not focusing on.
Yeah, as you start going through for the second time, Hannah says, I'll die believing that your mother's death was on me. I think we pushed her. I think I pushed her too far and too fast. which is why we have measures in place. And she glances over to you, Twee, to try not to repeat mistakes that were made in the past. Your parents were madly in love. They were madly in love with you. And they were two of the most brilliant students to ever come from this conservatory. But I released them into the wild without the protections and the additional training that they needed. Your mother snapped. She took her own life. And after your father blamed me, he blamed himself.
And his eyes are just watered as he says, he's saying, it's better to surrender. Just silently, lost in thought, looking at you, looking at Hannah.
Yeah. And she goes to speak and she swallows it. And it's just a chirp of an apology that comes by. But she's like, I'm sorry. That loss is on me. And everything that you suffered from now until then, or from then until now, is also on me.
Even essentially, sort of doesn't want to fully say the word, but even what I've experienced from the people of Kingsport, because I always wondered why we stayed there. We didn't leave.
And she takes a deep breath and she says, that may be a conversation for another day. There are certain locations. We'll cycle back to that, shall we?
Then turns back to the letters.
And then she's going to look over to you, Twee. I promise you by the end of this program, you'd understand where your dreams come from. And again, I apologize for withholding your talent from you. However, as I've previously addressed, you need to be monitored. Your connection with your dreams and to your artistry is honestly astounding. It's unlike anything that we've seen come through this program before. Imagine trying to survive an artistic field where every moment, every single time your flesh or your brush hits a canvas, you experience what you experienced on the ferry. It's not sustainable. I'm not saying you have to be supervised, but you do need to be monitored.
What do you mean monitored? Sounds like house arrest.
It's
not
very
that I know
far from
about that.
Not that I would know about that. Yeah, with your pink fluffy slip-ons right now.
My Slayer shirt.
Your Slayer shirt. She says, I mean what I said, monitored. It's not house arrest. We won't restrict you, but we do need to make sure that you're okay.
Bridget, I have a
quick
question. How old does she appear to be to us?
Hot.
What, a good 32?
Hot.
And yet she remembers Jamal's parents.
She does. With letters addressed to her 15 years ago. And as you have that aha moment, go ahead and enjoy that insight check, baby. They did it to themselves.
That's okay. I don't really need an insight check.
What's insight for? We don't need that shit.
I need to learn how to keep my mouth shut, don't I?
Yeah.
You do.
No, that's a valid question.
But that would make the game interesting.
Haha. Ba-dun-dun-dun.
Let me see if I can.
Uh-huh.
I might have closed the dice.
I tell you what, I'll make our lives easier. I'll just roll for you.
Nope.
You found it? You're good? Okay. Nope, that's fine. It's not public facing anyway, so you're okay.
So I could really just make this up, right?
No, I'm watching it.
Oh no, we're all watching, dog.
We're all watching it. The public can't see it, but we're all watching. And we are all hoping you hit a 6.
I got a 4.
Disappointed. Okay, well, your insight goes up by 1 as you're realizing that there's no way 32-year-old Hannah Downs here was corresponding with Jamal's parents 15 years ago.
Goes up by 1.
Goes up by 1. You know it does. Yeah.
From 2 to 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3.
Okay.
You got it.
Twee looks at Heather pointedly. She says, "Okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm painting tonight.
Good.
I have to."
We know.
Okay.
And then she.
I feel
oh, go ahead.
I feel sort of a surge of excitement go through me because
Collaboration.
yeah, I want to get this kinetic painting thing done.
August, she slides a box towards you. This is like one of those little short what do they call it? Not umbrella, the accordion type of folders that has like the twine that wraps around. It's one of those. It's plastic version of that.
I'm just gonna rest my hand on it. What is it?
Bridget is impressed that you didn't immediately look at it, and she would be impressed by that too. So I'm trying to debate how I want to handle that. She says it's a walk down memory lane. It'll hurt.
They're pictures, aren't they? Yeah, I'm gonna open it up and look at it because I don't hate myself enough already.
So, Allie, because you're doing this to yourself, I have photos that I need to describe to you, but I want you to tell me the photos that you see first.
Well, because it's probably safe to assume that they're pictures with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course they are.
Brace yourself, chat.
So there's probably pictures, like especially the ones that are in the front, because I'd like to imagine that they're going chronologically. Because I'm
With her anal
kind of seems like
ass, yeah.
kind of seems organized enough that she would want it to be in chronological order. And I'm seeing, pictures of myself when I'm 5, 6, 7 years old
Yeah.
at various performances that like my mother has given. Sometimes I'm there like with her in the same picture. Sometimes it's a matter of, probably a relative or something having taken pictures of me like as I've been in the audience and she's not looking at me or she's not, like acknowledging really anybody's presence other than whoever she's talking to at that moment.
Yeah.
But even in the pictures where I'm smaller and I'm with her probably for some specific event and like she's never holding my hand, she's never looking at me, she's never actively I'm more of an afterthought in her presence. And it's pretty obvious in these pictures.
Okay. As you are thumbing through these pictures and you're just seeing a visual representation of what you've been experiencing day to day for every day of your 19 years of life, as you're glancing through the pictures, you hit picture 4 or 5 and you catch one that's like your very first recital. Your mom had you playing young, like you were barely old enough to hold a violin, and she had you on stage doing concerts. And right there in the corner of the picture, you see Hannah sitting in the office. She's in a pin or sitting in the audience. She's on a corner seat where there's a vacant seat next to her, which you're quickly realizing is the seat that your mother sits in, because you can see like the other half of her outfit maybe hanging over the back of the chair. And Hannah sitting there in a pinstripe suit, legs crossed, with just look of just pride and joy looking at you. And it's one of those things that strikes you in that moment because you're getting all of this brutality and this emotional coldness from your mother. And then on the far edge of the photo, you're looking at Hannah that's looking at you with adoration and respect and pride. And it throws you off enough where you like, wait a second, and you go back to a previous photo and it's the exact same thing. And you go back to another photo and it's the exact same thing. You go to like your baby photos where your mother is more interested in a conversation that's happening over to her left shoulder, but she is holding you in your arms, and you can see that the face looming over the shoulder is again Hannah. And you're flipping through these pictures again and again and again, and you recognize like your third grade recital. There's a picture of your mother who is standing there. She's holding your certificate, and she's present enough to do that. You're standing there with like the goofy smile with like the missing front teeth. And on the other side of you, there's fucking Hannah again, handing you flowers. One, as Dallas is already ascertained, she has not aged in these years, but you're seeing again and again and again these pictures of Hannah popping up. I need an insight roll. As you're just thumbing through these photos, and every single one of them, she's just there. She's just there. She's just there.
All right, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So,
Is that above your current insight? Yeah, it is.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it is. You remember this conversation. You recall an intense discussion where your mother is begging down to confirm whether you are something called mythos touched. And Hannah replies, Virginia, she's not manifesting yet, darling, but I promise we'll keep an eye on her. Don't be discouraged. She may yet show this potential and be saved. Trust the process.
I'm
a man, Bridget.
Oh, sorry. What it is, she's a girl in the book that I just read off of. I was like, what did Perry just say to me? I heard beep. No, Alex, don't hide that. You fucked up them genders.
Oh, Bridget, I think you have to roll for insight.
Yeah. Let's see here. Director rolled a 2. I'm fine.
Yeah, because Bridget sits at a healthy 4 all the time. So.
Oh, right. I maintain that 4. So he's not manifesting, darling, but I promise we'll keep an eye on him. Don't be discouraged. He may not. He may yet show potential, and he may be saved. And that phrase is lingering on you from wherever you heard this conversation, whether it was like in your kitchen and you were upstairs, it's supposed to be asleep, whether you overheard it on the phone. And that phrase is reoccurring with you. Mythos touched. Mythos
How
touched.
old was I for this conversation?
Maybe 9, 10.
Oh yeah, no, that's something that definitely, like, because August is a big nerd. He keeps like practice journals of like pieces he's working on and stuff like that, and feedback from teachers and stuff like that. And it probably would have come up like if he had been practicing right before going to bed, which I'm sure is something that I have been doing for the entire time I've been learning to play violin. I made a note of it somewhere in a journal somewhere.
You're just like, oh, that. Yeah. Yeah, it was over a decade ago, but you're tying those two things together now.
So, Miss Downs, you've known my mother for my entire life, obviously.
Yes.
And you're here to encourage my continued education, I imagine, as not just the director, but, you know, even if I wasn't in the program. You seem to be a person who's cheering for my success.
I am a person that's cheering for you, August. Yes, I am. And I always will be. And I apologize. I apologize that you were raised by a woman that is not capable of providing that for you.
She loves in her own way.
There's a real patient, like, okay, smile that you get.
Listen, I firmly believe that.
I know you do.
Like, it's a I have to believe that. If I don't believe that, my entire life is I've wasted my entire life. So no, I have to believe
you
that.
have to believe that she loves in her own way. Give me just a quick second here. Cabin C, hear me. The next few days, the next couple of weeks are going to be incredibly difficult on all of you. What you've experienced thus far is a mere sampling on what awaits you as you continue to dive into your gifts, your shared narratives, and the stories that you're telling to yourselves, to each other, with each other. And she looks over at Twee and Dallas.
What's difficult is not being able to do anything, to not be able to move like my body wants me to. I can't imagine anything more difficult than that.
I'm sure once Sienna introduces you to your private studio, that'll help.
I hope so, and I want to get there now.
I know you do, Dallas. I know. But I assure you, your audience will wait for you. And there's something about that you're just like, oh, she's not talking about us.
Twee is gonna go upstairs. She's gonna change into regular class clothes because she's not trying to walk across this campus in shorts and a cut-off Slayer shirt. Although she might put pants on, but she's leaving the Slayer shirt on.
Yeah.
She's gonna run across campus to go find her mentor, Mousy Melissa.
Okay.
And when she finds her, I mean, she knows that they're going to be in classes for the rest of the evening, most of the afternoon. But Melissa, I have a weird request. I don't know quite how to ask this without it being weird, so I'm just going to ask it because it's fucking weird. I have some ideas. I talked to Hannah. I need to figure out how, if you know of any unique styles of painting that I'm not formulating this well. I need to figure out how to get a pint of blood out of me so that I can mix it in with my paints. Is that something that we can figure out? Great, because I have work to do tonight. It's time to get moving.
Okay.
And just before Tree went out the door, and one moment of Jamal remembering is like, make sure you run interference when we need you.
Mousy Melissa kind of does like that stutter step, and she just like scurries where she turns around and she is leading you to Alex, can you do me a favor and cue up the map real fast? She is going to be leading you to location number 3, which is going to be the classrooms. Very quickly, all of you guys will eventually get to this location, but moments like this are great because I can throw out a description. You guys have it. This is a symmetrical pair of 2-story classrooms that are constructed from oak. They include lecture halls, conference rooms, and dozens of individual studios. These various private studios each boast their own unique decor and are strategically formatted to cater to a specific student. Twee, as you follow Mousy Melissa into the classroom, she will lead you down the level 3 to room 1, 2, 3, 4. And she hits a key card that she has attached to her radio, and it opens up, and this is your investigator studio. Twee Lee's room is quiet, almost too quiet, as if something has been done to dampen the sound. The walls are stark white, and there are Rillian runes. So you don't know what that means, but you can recognize that several of the symbols that are on Rillian's collar are on this room. Are drawn onto the stark white walls in black paint. Lavender essential oils are being dispersed into the room. The center of the room has a small white leather futon with a weighted blanket and pillow. Art supplies are stored in a small cabinet. Mousy Melissa kind of waves into the room, and she says, I'll have Princess come over to meet you.
That's good. I also wanted to talk to her at some point too. Not immediately necessarily, but great. Like, I've been meaning to talk to her. So,
and like there's that awkward pause where she's like, and she just gets on her radio and shuts the door. August, Jamal, or Dallas, anything else you guys want with Hannah as she is packing up and getting ready to leave? She promises that within a couple of weeks she'll check back in for another breakfast to see how everyone is doing.
I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna hand her back the accordion thing.
Okay.
I don't need it. It's nice to know that she's been in my corner, but knowing that going forward, I don't need the physical proof of it.
She takes it back and she puts it, on level 4 of the tier.
I'll pull her off to the side, and I got 2 questions for her.
Jamal.
Start with the first one. You mentioned when you started talking about my parents that you were keeping them up to date.
And she smiles. She says, "You have a question. Just ask it."
As far as I know, I'm going to take a wild guess that you're praying to them.
There are various modes of communication. Prayer can be interpreted as one of them. Yes.
Okay. The other, and I'll glance over at the card, if you wouldn't mind taking a while to pack that, and I could borrow your keys. There's been someone we would like to make sure they understand how they're dealing with us.
She pauses
Nothing
for
dangerous,
a second.
nothing dangerous, but we just want to make sure we're turning something in kind.
Bridget just wants to make sure I'm understanding this too. You're asking for her master key, more or less. Roll me a human. And if you want to, you can roll your insight too, if you want to just risk it. But if your insight is the higher of the 2 numbers, your insight goes up by 1.
Yeah, well, I'm at a 2 now.
Okay, your insight goes up by 1 with a 1 and a 5. She pauses for a moment. And she says, "No, I won't provide you with my key."
Worth a try. Well, if you want with privacy, could you at least open a door for us? It involves shaving cream and seaweed.
And she just kind of nods.
Load up, guys. We got work to do.
I'm gonna look over at Jamal and gesture to the freezer.
And he'll just
all
nod.
right. I'm gonna go.
Outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and get my backpack and put the 10 cans of shaving cream that we bought in the freezer and put it in my bag.
Okay, Dallas, are you going with the crew?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
We on the other side of campus just goes, I can feel a disturbance in the force.
There's a disturbance in the force. Assholery is about to happen, and I'm
Yeah,
not present for it.
There's about a felony happening. Why am I not there?
Why am I not present for this? Jamal,
do this out of love.
Out of love. August goes and races and goes and gets a shit ton of the frozen shaving cream. Dallas is mobilizing, and Jamal, you hear Hannah chirp onto her radio. She says something in that language that you don't quite recognize, but you do recognize. You know how when people are speaking a hybrid language, sometimes they default to their base language, their home language words. You do hear cabin A4 over the radio. I'm gonna hop back over to Twee really fast. Twee, within about 30 minutes, Princess arrives, and she has a kit, and she has glass jars, and she has whatever those medical tools are where she would tap a vein and start extracting blood from you.
Here's an IV set.
Thank you. No medical background, except for veterinarian services, which is weird, but still, please continue.
Hey, Princess, I guess this is kind of an unusual request, I guess.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, not at this
Really?
stage. How much?
I think a pint would be safe.
And she looks around and goes, "Are you standing or sitting?"
I'll sit down.
Okay, so you're sitting on that white futon.
Yeah.
And she ties you off. She needles you in, and she starts pulling blood.
As she does so, I want to talk to her. So I've been meaning to talk to you since that first day. Uh, I did not know that your name was I did not know that it was normal for your culture. And so I don't really do apologies all that well, but I would like to say that I'm sorry. I did not mean to make fun of your name.
She looks up to you. You can feel a tug on your arm. And she says, apology accepted. And as you look down, she's on pint number 2.
Oh, shit. Well, I don't think that Twee would really know what a pint is necessarily. So I think she probably just assumed that Princess was taking the right amount of blood.
Okay. She finishes with that second pint. You immediately start feeling that wooziness. She stands up. She removes her gloves with a smack smack. She makes some quick passing comment like, go to the convenience store, get orange juice and things of that nature. And she is packing up her things to leave. She says, "Is there anything else?"
No, thank you. Thank you.
And she
Sincerely.
pauses. She says, "This won't happen daily."
Oh, no. I'm hoping this is all that I'm going to need.
And there's a shocking moment that kind of like startles you because she just comes straight up into your face and she snaps a finger in your face. It pops loud and she's looking you in your face and she says, "This will not happen daily. Don't even ask. You're going to ask. Don't. Make use of the tools you have."
Okay. Duly noted.
Then she says something in a language, same language you don't quite know, but you do pick up when she finally converts back to English, which seems very deliberate for you. She says, "There's only so much blood, there's only so much flesh. You can only give as much as you have to give."
Okay.
I would say that, Twee, next time this sort of thing happens, you should make sure you have your apologies in before you have somebody start pulling your blood out. It's just a practical thing.
I didn't say I said I legitimately said I was not good at them.
Like, I don't apologize. So, here's what we're going to do. These are the 2 things I would like to conquer as we finish out episode 3. And we have another 30 minutes. I won't push you that long unless you guys go that long, but we'll see what happens. There are 2 things I want to do. I want to hear the table narrative of the prank without any input from me. I just want to hear the door has been open for you when you arrive. I want to hear the table narrative of the prank. I want to hear what the collaboration between Twee and Dallas looks like as well. And then I would also like to do a quick roundtable for any individual spotlight scenes that we need to very briefly do before those things happen. Is that fair? That feel warm and fuzzy? Okay. Anybody want to jump out on something like quick they want to do for an individual spotlight? Because I know I got some things in my inbox that are like, we don't need to do a full scene on it, but the player can very easily describe it and the table understands kind of like, oh, that's what's going on.
Well, so I'd like to at least propose to the rest of my partners in crime for this particular prank that while we're going, we go down along the edge near the water. And after seeing those pictures and knowing that even though my mom does love me in her own way, and that I do all this work for her, it's gotten to the point where I'm doing the work more for myself than I am for her anymore. And maybe it's time I cut a tether. So I take my cell phone and I chuck it into the lake.
Okay.
Man, cell phones and water in this campaign. It's just
Listen, I feel like all cell phones should get a content warning before coming into this game. Okay.
Your ass should have got Apple Care.
So at one point, Jamal will take the letters, both that he can read and not, and he will lay them out on the pier with stones holding them down around him in a circle as he practices the saxophone and the lullaby again for himself.
Okay. I need a 3d6 from you on this one. Part of your insight is one of those letters was stuck together.
Mhm.
And now that you're deliberately, spreading them all out, you're not as emotional. You're being a little bit more intentional about how you're spreading it out. You're on the pier, which is a hot spot, which is another reason. But you also see at the bottom of one of these letters the following note that was sent to Hannah from your father. And it reads, Hannah, you have to come back. Something is wrong with Serene. Nothing is working. And I'm afraid without your support, she won't make it. Come back, please. And then stapled to that letter is Serene's obituary. Please roll me that 3d6.
Already up on the screen. I see I'm going to have to have another conversation with Hannah.
Ooh. All right, that is a 1, 4, 3. So with a 3, you are at least performing at human competency. You can push it if you want to, just by re-rolling your insight again. And you can roll all 3d6. I'm not telling you to push. I'm just saying you have an option. You're going to die. Okay. That is a 4 on your human. That is a 3. That's a 3 on your occupation. And that is a 6 on your insight. What happens? You just saw beyond the entire veil on this one.
So, as this now note from the seeing the obituary, which really his grandmother has avoided letting him see the obituary. It sparks again. That's something. That lullaby comes up, but this time, instead of his parents playing it to him, he's playing it to them.
Okay.
And there comes a point where the wind picks up and you can see the letters rippling, trying to pull away from where under the stones that he's put them under. And this is only in his mind. He sees those letters lift up off the stones as if the stones had purposely been picked up, and the letters start swirling around him into the winds.
Mhm.
And equally just below him in the water under the pier, it looks like a vortex is starting to form there, matching the spin of the letters. And at which point, two sets of hands on either side, or two sets of hands come up on either side of the pier itself. One is again that mermaid, Yemenya, with his mother's face, her hair with shells within them, and pieces of stone and so forth. And the other side is his father in the image of Olokun in his white cloths and pearls and the chains holding, and they're just there to listen.
Okay.
But at some point, the visages sort of shift and start becoming more otherworldly.
Okay. Your insight goes up by 2. Congrats on that 6 on your insight roll. Okay. Teen on to that. As you are playing and the notes are swirling, the water is whirlpooling, you see a new piece of sheet music. This is coming from one of our concert master backers. It's handwritten in an odd but legible style of handwriting. It's a jazz piece from what you can tell, Jamal, but it seems to be specifically written for the saxophone lead. The music is understandable and is clearly the work of a very skilled musician. However, it's impossible for a person to play. To play it correctly, it required the finger span that is considerably wider than a normal human's hand finger span would be between fingers. There are places where it clearly is asking you or requiring you to have more fingers than a standard 5-digit hand. If played from what you can hear, in this whirlwind, it would be complex and beautiful with a discordant undertone to it. and you can hear it, Jamal. You can hear this music, and you know that you have to play it, but you can't play it with 5 fingers on your hand. Something has to give. And the title of this piece is called The Fall of the Orisha. What are you going to do to be able to play that? This is what I'm tying in for your 6. This is my 6. What are you going to do to get this piece off? Because you have to play it at this point.
Looking at the notes, normally I would do this. Thanks to a movie I just recently saw, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm going to sit down, take off my shoes, and with using what I can and positioning myself, I'm going to start using my both hands and toes to hit the buttons on the saxophone to try and play this music as if all parts of me are hands. I may fail, but I'm going to try.
Can I have a occupation and an insight, please? That'll be a 2d6.
And that even includes stretching my hands as much as I can.
Oh, yeah.
God, I hope you crush this right now.
I think I'm going to the infirmary.
Okay. With a 1 and a 2, you're seated there. The wind is flapping love letters from your parents, apology letters, begging letters. The obituary is flapping in your hands, and you're curled up in this awkward position where you have 2 of your hands on the saxophone, and you're trying to curl your feet over. And just with a 1 and a 2, what the fuck are you doing? Like yesterday, your instructor basically told you that your technique was worthless, that you're a YouTube baby and that you don't belong here. They didn't say that, but that's what is implied by, like, let's go back to the basis at basics at an elite summer camp where you're supposed to be getting geared up for like a professional career. And now you're sitting here on the pier fucking trying to play notes with your toes. Like, everything is wrong. And you hear the first pop and you're not really sure what that is, and then you hear the second pop and you're still not 100% sure what it is, because you're so determined to get this music off. And by the time the blood is running down your dislocated and shattered fingers, where like you have like a full split between your index and your ring finger on one hand, and the other one is dislocated and your fingers are turning in opposite directions, you're looking down and your toes are the fingers that you want them to be, but they're not hitting the notes that you want to. And all you can do is scream in pain as everything settles down around you. Your insight is going to go up by 1 again. Anybody else?
I'm at a 4 now.
You got a 4 now? Anybody else want to tee up anything real quick before we go? Alex is like, no.
I think Twee would, after 2 pints, which is a significant amount of blood, she would stumble across the cafeteria to get some food, but then she would go directly back to the practice space, the studio. She'd eat, and I think that she would just kind of like look at the bags and like hold them and kind of like, I think she would just kind of explore them and kind of go, okay, how am I going to do this? And just start thinking about processes and blah, blah, blah. And trying to figure out how to conserve it while also using it, because she doesn't want to piss off Princess anymore. She really thought she had tried to make amends, and clearly that was not happening. So I think she's going to make an attempt to not have to have that request again.
Okay, so you've got the warm blood that's cooling by the moment, in between your hand. You're feeling a little bit better. And am I okay just to tee in Dallas A knocks on the door?
Yeah, I was actually just wondering about that.
Yeah.
So I've seen her come in, and
you caught her at dinner or lunch, whenever it was, and
I'm eager to talk more about what we're going to do. So I knock on her door, and I am just not quite just enough to be polite, and then I open the door and come in, and I'm like, how did it go? How is the studio?
The studio's great. As you can see. Oh, do you mean, are you thinking I'm back at the dorms?
Yeah.
No, I'm still back at the.
You're back at the studio. So like,
okay.
it's easy to clean up. You saw Tweed getting food in the cafeteria eventually once you're finished with Anna or Hannah down. So yeah, you're at her studio.
I think this actually works out better too.
Okay.
Okay. So full disclosure, Dallas A. I tend to paint the things that are in my dreams. They've told me to stop doing it until I talk to Hannah, which I've now done. I got some inspiration on the boat coming over. And here's the thing. I keep having this one singular dream, and it's only gotten worse and more tangible and more lucid as the weeks have gone by. The dream starts with me in a city, and everyone around me has turned into some kind of a weird rage monster, like they've turned. And they are, anyone who has turned is heading towards this one part of the city. Like if you look out of a window of a condo or a high rise, you can see just floods of people moving in one direction, but I don't know what is at the center of that direction. And these people, it's like they've been turned into something else, and they anything they can pick up and use as a weapon, both of their hands are turned into weapons, and they're attacking anyone who is not like them. And so,
what kind of something else?
I never see it. I don't know what the origin is. So it's bloody. It's violent. And so I don't want to depict something violent. I want what we do to be the illusion of violence, if that makes sense. In the dream, I feel like a sacrificial lamb. And so what I want to do is I'm trying to put blood into my paint in order to use that as another medium. I feel like that adds an extra layer of the violence without actually being violent. And what I'm thinking is that you would be inside of this opaque curtain area where nobody could see you. They could see your shadow as you dance, but as you dance, there are also little troughs of paint surrounding the inside of this circular opaque room, and anyone watching would see you doing your dance, your graceful movements, your pirouettes, your whatever. And every time that your hands flung out or your legs flung out, there was paint on them, and it would splatter against the opaque material. So they would see your shadow just causing these splatters.
And as she's saying this, I'm feeling sort of like a rhythm accelerating in me. I'm feeling an excitement like I haven't really felt since I got here, and it's gripping me with every word, and I'm like sort of like I get sort of a giddy schoolgirlish smile on my face, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's like, it's the most primal thing that you could think of. It's like the blood is like the ocean that runs inside us. It's churning.
That's really nice.
It's churning inside us. It moves according to our moods. It goes back and forth. According to the whims of our hearts and our desires. It's anger. It's love. It's everything. It's violence, but it's healing.
Oh, so now we're talking dichotomies. Okay, this is getting way good. Okay, well, I'm glad that you are into this. It's a weird idea, I know, but I'm glad that you're into it, because it's all I've been able to think about for the last several days.
Oh, I love it.
Dallas
Okay.
said you have to do it now. You can't sleep on something like this.
Yeah, no, let's
You
let's
can't think
try
about
it.
this later. Like this shit has to happen now.
Let's try it now. I have to do this now.
Well,
Please.
let's see what you've got. When I work with other people, I give them my idea, but then I want them to take that idea and make it theirs if it's a collaborative. So show me how you feel that you would move knowing all of these parts. And if you're still injured, that's okay. Like we don't have to push too hard tonight. We've got time to work on it.
Yeah, just talking about this is making my body feel better, and want to move again. It's not even like I'm feeling muscles. It's more like I'm becoming fluid again.
Mm.
I'm like, I understand. I want to try using just a little bit of the blood. Just putting some of it on my hands so I can scatter it around, and my feet.
Okay, let me do this. Yeah. Okay.
You're so close. Don't hold back. You might as well jump.
Yeah, so I have to explain, like I have to be very cautious with how much of this I use. So I'll put a dab on each palm and a dab on the top of each foot.
Okay. Thick enough that I can splatter it.
Not yet, because that's a lot. What I want to do is I want to mix it in with paint and then have you spray it, because I only have so much of this that I can use.
You got to cut it with actual paint.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
gotta mix in the baby powder with the key. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna do paint and just a dabble, it'll be enough for her to splatter. If you're just doing a 9-to-1 ratio.
Okay. So I'll mix it in with a bunch of red paint, and then I will just slather your hands and your feet in it.
Okay.
I need a
Yeah.
3d6 from both of you.
Yes.
I guess we're gonna do the prank next week, guys.
Ooh.
Twee came with a 1-3-5. Chris is coming with a 1-2-1. Something went terribly wrong here. And it looks like it's a fuck ton of fuck up on Dallas's side, and Bucho, the only thing you're able to get off is your vision, because your sanity hit the 5.
I'm gonna push this baby.
Yeah, the fuck you are.
Yeah.
By the way, Tweet, your insanity, your insight went up by 1 at 5 on your insight die. Go ahead, Dallas. That's a 3d6
Okay.
again.
I'm gonna push that. I'm going to just, for a second, I'm going to like turn inside and get in touch with that core.
And before you make that roll, Twee is going to tell you, okay, so the title that I'm thinking of is The Dance of the First Lamb, The Turned. So if that helps you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine. We've got time. So
hey, Twee, or not Twee, Dallas. Oh, fuck me. Game over, guys. Game over. Dallas, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, because you just hit a 4, 5, 6 on this roll. Good luck. Dallas, here's what I'm going to tell you. 1, when you hit that 1-2-1, you got the title of the dance, which is the Dance of the First Lamb. You have a realization when you hear the first lamb. The reason this isn't working, you need more blood. Like, instead of more teeth, this is more blood. I don't give a fuck who it comes from. But you also hit a 6 on your insight. What is your current insight?
At last count, it was 3, I think.
Oh, Jesus, thank God. You almost actually died. Because if it was a 4, your insight just went up by 2. So your insight is now a 5 for hitting a 6 on your insight die.
Okay.
Versus more teeth, this is more blood. But you are able to execute the Dance of the First Lamb. Please give us narrative and shut this down for tonight. And actually, can I get this in tandem with you and Twee? You guys tee each other up, go back and forth, figure it out.
Okay, so I need more blood, and Twee has given all that she can right now. So the first thing I do is I just like take my teeth and bite into my wrists one at a time, pull the skin off. I can taste skin in, sticking in my teeth. The blood splatters across my fingers and onto my feet.
More.
I just smear the wrists together around my hands until they are just kind of spattered with blood, and I go down and I start clawing at my thighs.
More.
And letting the blood dribble down onto my feet, and it is the most powerful thing I have ever felt. It is just kind of like I don't feel the pain. I feel an ecstasy, just kind of thrusting through my bones and my muscle, and I am the world. I am the ocean. I can feel the world's heartbeat thrumming through me. I can feel the world being born. I can feel it dying. I can feel it. I can feel all of it. And
You're triggered, by the way. I need an insight from you, please.
Okay. I was gonna say Twee is
actually, I need just give me a 3d6 because this is still your idea, your insight. Okay. This is still your medium. This is still your
So
3d6, please.
So Twee is just watching this and she recognizes what's happening with Dallas, and she's like, I'm not fucking with that because not because she's afraid, but because she's like, I know what it's like to be in the moment. And if I'm taken out of the moment and I lose the moment, I get really angry because I hate losing the moment. Like, okay. Ooh.
Woo! You're in the moment. You are not getting lost. You are still in a driver's seat with a 3-4-3. Your insight didn't even go up, right?
It's a 2 right now.
So it did go up by 1.
It did go up.
Okay. But you're in the moment. You hit a 3-4-3. You're not in danger zone right now.
No, I'm right in my sweet spot. I'm enraptured. Like, this is what I was looking for, to like almost more than I was looking for, but this has got my gears going for sure.
Okay.
So Dallas starts to dance. She is twirling around slowly at first, but then it becomes more like a storm, more like a cyclone. She starts tearing off her shirt first, and then like her skirt, and there are, at the same time as her clothes come off, little parts of flesh come off, and she starts just swirling in impossible muscular movements. There is, even though she is naked, there is nothing sexual about it. It is just kind of like more like the dance of colors.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as sexual at all. It just feels, like you said before, very primal and just very like animalistic.
This is just a little touch of what they tried to capture in Rite of Spring. The Rite of Spring captured a little touch of this when Stravinsky wrote it and everyone went berserk in the theater. But this is kind of like the uncut version. This is kind of like just pure fury, just a sense of the it is all born of a sense of the cycle of life, that every birth leads to a death.
And I'm going to cut in really fast with a minute to go and end on August. August, you have just chucked your cell phone, another one bites the dust, into the water. It disappears with a bloop. You have the realization yet again of like, what, or you have this moment, at least here, where you're like, what, I'm finally in the driver's seat. She can't contact me even if she wanted to, and now I am not going to be tempted to chase after her. And you hear a small siren go off, and you see one of those blue light kiosks light up and start spinning. The light on the top is spinning, and it's coming from the pier area, and you're on the shore. It doesn't take you much to see this very awkward scene of Jamal sitting down, like pulling his feet up almost like, just like some weird twisted creature trying to play this saxophone. And then suddenly you see his hand rip down the middle. You see fingers contort and break and shift. And there's just like this siren going off. And you can see that it's corresponding with the medical center there. There's also sirens currently going off at the classroom. There's something happening in the classrooms because that siren is going off. And then somewhere in the cafeteria, there's another siren. And just like moment by moment, these blue light kiosks just start lighting up where it's like the entire campus is starting to just like hum and buzz and scream out in alert. And you hear that dissonant twang, smack, clash of your violin somewhere in the echoes of your mind. Go ahead and close out game.
The violin playing in the background with all of these, big blue light kiosks, going off and the lights and everything. There is a sense of, what did my mother say when she meant that I'm going to learn everything I need to hear instead?
Give me just a quick second. You'll learn things at this program, August, things you can't unlearn, things you'll never want to unlearn. They'll teach you what I never could.
Yeah.
And that, friends of the symphony, is where our show ends for the night. This might only be a 4-session game. Thank you so much to everyone who joined or is currently watching a replay. You guys are indeed the best part of waking up, and we really appreciate you. Very quickly, Alex, can you bang us out for this drawing, please?
Yes, bang us out.
Oh,
Bang us out.
I don't know if I'm all right after tonight's session.
Dance of the Bloody Plum Fairies.
All right, our first winner of the Miskatonic Shoreside.
Yeah, Liquid Fire, I agree. Holy
soft
shit.
Cover.
Thank you for being here, by the way, babe.
I've been on mute, except for on stream. Whoops.
We still love you.
Yeah, y'all motherfuckers need Jesus.
No. I recovered from Jesus.
Good.
They did it to themselves, Alex. They did it to themselves.
What a game. What a table.
Woo!
All right. The winner of the Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory softcover is
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey.
the Always podcast.
Hey! Baby,
Yeah.
text me your address and I will get that processed through Drive-Thru RPG tonight or first thing in the morning. Congratulations.
And the winner of Bucho's 2 story anthologies is Cthulhu Ken.
Cthulhu
Nice.
Kid! Hey! Congratulations. Woo!
Does Cthulhu Ken know how to get a hold of you?
I was just about to say, Cthulhu Ken, if you are here now, if you're still here now, I'm putting my entertainment GA. I'm putting my my email account in the chat. If you're not here now, I'll try to reverse stalk you through your Twitch handle. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in the drawing, Cthulhu Ken. Bucho's books. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that, baby. All right, guys. We're going to go take a brief break, and then we're going to come back to cast for our post-symphony gala. That's basically where we're going to have a 10 to 15-minute talk back about impressions of the episode, things that really bothered us, things we thought were really cool, what we're projecting for next episode, and then also, like, if our pets are around, we'll probably pick them up and throw them in the camera, too. So if you would like access to that content, you do have to be a backer on Patreon for Symphony, and our Patreon, again, is patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. If you'd like to hang out with us on the Discord, feel free. There's a pet pick channel, there's a therapy lounge. We have a good time. We make a lot of inappropriate jokes, and the world is happy for it. And before we empty out the auditorium, my heart is actually beating fast from that, guys. Wow. Before we empty out the auditorium, let's go around one more time and say goodnight to our symphonic cast. Starting with Bucho again. Give us your name, where to find you, and what you do.
My name is Bucho. You can find me at Instagram at The Real Pink Manther. Links to pictures of my new paintings, my writings. I home improvement crap, my books, literary stuff, whatever. You can also find me on Reddit as user Trip Hoppersy in the Symphony Entertainment sub community. So come hang out and kick it with us. Also, you can find me in the second of our symphony sonatas happening this Saturday on this channel at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me and Bridget and the lovely Rena Hayes. So that's gonna be not Hayes, Haynes.
Henzy, we got you.
Is it Henzy?
Henzy, yeah, Rena Henzy. Yep.
I'm just fucking everybody's name up tonight.
Well, listen, you also fucked your character up tonight too. So listen, it happens.
Yeah. So that's me.
Right. Go ahead, it's Perry.
And I'm Perry Clark, licensed marriage and family therapist. And yes, I've just had an interesting experience with self-injurious behavior. So you can catch me at my podcast, which is Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered. And as I said earlier, at the starting airing next Monday will be my talk with Tanana Reeve Dew about Afrofuturism and horror. So check that out. You can find it on most podcast players.
That's going to be so dope. I can't wait to hear that. Go ahead, hit us, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris, and you'll find me where you least expect me.
Oh my.
This mic drop there. Oh God. I still got this mental image of you clawing out the inside of your thighs to get this dance off. Fuck me. This is going to be a great talk back. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
But on a more mundane level, you can also find me on Instagram at ZopherH, and you can find me on Twitter at the Zopher Hall, and occasionally doing lightsaber choreography at Lux Saber Corps.
Whew. Last but totally not least.
All right, I'm Allie, and you can find me on the Symphony Discord, the Old Ways Podcast Discord, and just in general on the Old Ways Podcast. Come join us, won't you?
We hope you've enjoyed the symphony, and we look forward to having you again. And according to a piece of advice that one of our investigators pulled from the pond, it hurts less if you surrender. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you guys next week.